So today, and by today I mean this entire week and probably this month because I'm really slow at making projects, I'm gonna make this top. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna make this top because I saw it online. It looks really cool. Someone else tried to make it. I want to make it myself because I accidentally have the fabric for it. I accidentally brought a whole lot of rainbow tulle in multiple colors. Why, I don't know, but I did. And now I need to get rid of it. So I'm gonna make it into this top from scratch. I don't have a pattern. I'm gonna make my own pattern. I'm gonna sew it all together myself and then I'm gonna wear it. And it's gonna be probably terrible, but you know what? We're gonna try. And that's all that really matters in the end, is trying. Or
you tried your best and you failed miserably.
The lesson is never try, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, so the breakdown is that I'm going to be using two types of fabric, only two types of fabric because I'm a cheap ass. I'm going to be using rainbow tulle and I'm going to be using a white thin cotton fabric, which I'm going to be using as like the bodice or the lining, the bodice part. I don't know, I'm cheap. It's probably too thin, but I'm going to use it anyway because I feel compelled to get rid of it from my stash. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to use a bunch of elastic, a zip for the back, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to try and make my own pattern and we're going to go from there. The things that I do make that work just come together completely by luck, not by skill. So there's probably going to be a lot of that going on in this video. Luck. Or the lack of it. We will see what happens. So let's get on with this, shall we? Oh, I'm still mic'd up. So here I am with the first method I decided to try, which was draping. Granted, I don't really know why I thought draping would work because the mannequin that I used, it's not really my size. The bust is a lot bigger. Ignore that tag sticking out of my shirt that I proudly wore on display for you guys. Yeah, the mannequin that I was working from, the bust area was a lot bigger than my actual bust, so in hindsight this was a terrible idea, but I tried to make it work anyway. And as you can see, it went about as well as you would expect draping to work from a mannequin that barely fits. And then this was the results from that draping, which in hindsight it doesn't fit terribly, but I actually hated the construction of the pattern more than I did the fit. I felt like it was way too busy for what the bodice actually was. Still, I sewed it up just to see what it would look like in the actual proper fabric, and lo and behold, I was kind of on the fence with it. I thought it was just way too busy. There were just way too many pieces, and the cups had a tendency to slip down quite low, and actually the whole thing sat really low, and I just wasn't that happy with it, so I decided to try it again. And this time I used Clo 3D, which is a program that I use every day in my job anyway, so it actually makes a lot more sense for me to have just used Clo 3D from the beginning, but for some reason I wanted to try draping. But anyway, I made a pattern on my computer, I draped it on my 3D self, which was my perfect measurements, and then I printed it out and went ahead and cut out all the pieces. So this is me cutting them out really fast. Hope you enjoyed that. Same thing, I made a mock-up in calico just to see how everything would sit. When I had done it, I decided that actually the apex was a bit too close, so I just lengthened that out a little bit. Okay, so today I'm going to be sewing the bodice together using my handy dandy pattern. Now we're gonna see if it actually works or not. Yeah, we're gonna see if this pattern actually fits me or not, which is I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but we will see. I'm just gonna go grab my cat. Okay.
No.
So we're gonna see.
Goodbye.
So we're gonna see if my pattern works or not. Yeah, here's my cat, by the way. He's being very, very
This goddamn
naughty.
house, OMG, I'm a prisoner, save me someone.
We're not going outside. Poopy! We're not going outside.
All of my hopes and dreams have been crushed.
So here I am cutting out the actual pattern that ended up being my final one out of the good fabric. The good really, really thin fabric, I might add. This wasn't a very good fabric for a bodice because it was actually lining, but you know what? I live to break the rules apparently. Also, I am currently reading The Ruins. It is a good book, I enjoy it. Okay, so I got both of my bodice pieces done, the outer shell and the lining. I also went ahead and top stitched really wide just because, you know, I kind of just liked the way it looked on both of them. And then I have, on my pattern pieces, I have actually marked out the lines for where I want the gathers of the tulle to be sewn down. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them on the whatever side I'm going to use for the outer, and then we can move on to actually gathering the tulle. And just to prove that my cat is not a complete asshole all the time, here he is looking like a little angel. So here is the tulle that I used. It didn't show up very well on this camera because I was filming under my really yellow artificial light, but it's actually quite a nice colorful tulle. And so I just went ahead and gathered it so that I could kind of arrange roughly where I wanted to put it on the bodice fabric, but I went ahead and basted everything down by hand. This is probably the most annoying part, was just trying to make this all fit together. I didn't have a lot of fabric, so I actually ended up making the bodice quite short. In hindsight, it didn't really match the initial one that I was trying to make, so maybe don't do that. Maybe just get enough fabric, unlike me. And then I went ahead and sewed it all together. And there we go. So now I flipped the two bodice pieces over and I sandwiched the tulle in between them, except I had to push the ends of the tulle down because I still wanted them to stick out from the top and the bottom. Kind of like to make sort of ruffles almost. So I went ahead and pinned all of the tulle down so that it didn't get caught when I sewed the two bodice pieces together inside out. And then it kind of formed a long snake and I just had to flip it all back out the right way when it was done. And then I don't mind my energy drink. I just had to trim the edges to kind of give it the length that I was going after. On the top and the bottom. You can kind of see it's pretty translucent, this tulle. I probably should have double layered it, but again, I just didn't have, or quadruple layered it even. Again, I just didn't have enough. I should have brought more, but this combined with the arms didn't give me enough. Anyways, then I had to sew on the zip. I used a open end zip so that I could get in and out of this top. And this was my first time sewing an open-ended zip on anything, and I don't think I did it right, but I don't think there's really many ways that you can go about sewing this on. So I just went ahead and stuck it on, basically. Not very amazing. And then I just went ahead and made the sleeves. Initially I made them way too long, so I actually had to unpick and shorten them quite a bit. But this was probably the funnest part, which was sewing on the elastic. And then just for fun, I also made cloud shorts because why not? I thought they'd go nice with the rainbow top. Cloud shorts, that totally goes together, right? And I also had this cool cloud fabric just sort of laying around, so I decided to use it. And I got to use my overlocker as well, and I kind of love using my overlocker because it's so loud and angry. And I never get to use it. And I paid so much money for it, so any excuse to use it is good by me. This pattern is also really cute, actually. I will link it in the description from where I got it. The hardest part of it is doing the zip fly facing overlapping part. I hated that the most because I think the instructions were actually back to front, but it's still a nice pattern and you'll get to see how it turns out very soon. I also made this version yesterday, which is a pastel version. Hi guys, so that is the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, or at least found it somewhat entertaining. I don't know. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe or follow or do whatever people do on this website, and then maybe I will make more things in the future for you to watch me fail at. Okay, thanks, bye!